Hey, good morning again on Monday, January the 23rd. This is Dr. Bill Williams on the Influencers Podcast, and so proud today to bring you another friend of mine, founder and CEO of RT out in California, Kashish Juneja. And here she is coming live on straight out of the green room to your screen. Welcome, Kashish. How are you?
Hello. I am great. Bill, how are you doing?
Excellent. It's a great day here in Georgia. How is it out there in sunny California?
Sunny California wasn't too sunny these past 2 weeks, but San Francisco's been pretty well right now. So it's warm and great. That's all that matters.
We're glad you're here. Let's get started and tell us where were you, what happened, and who are you surrounded by that inspired you to do what you're doing today with RIT?
Yeah, for sure. So just a brief background on me. I grew up in the Bay Area, and with that, I was in an environment where I was constantly drinking boba tea. I went to Cupertino High School, and that's where boba came from, Taiwan. From there, I was a boba addict, drank it all the time, gained 30 pounds, and after seeing my mom's health and wellness journey, where she quit being an engineer, software engineer in the Bay Area to open her dance company. It was very inspiring for me. So when it came to my life and when I was in Berkeley and I decided that I wanted to create a healthy alternative, I had support from my parents and I had that inspiration to follow my mom's footsteps to go after my passion. And now here I am with Orati. I ended up, I guess, graduating and opening my own boba company.
So, what is a bodapreneur?
Yeah, so it's essentially if you fuse the words of entrepreneur and boba, what that means it's someone who chose their passion for boba and decided to pursue that. And I don't think people understand the complication and the art of boba. It's a whole art from making it, from being able to bring people together with it. It's a whole process, and I think that's what I'm doing here. I'm bringing the community together with boba, and that's what makes me a bobapreneur.
Well, I know that's a great success story, but usually there's a diving board that people spring from that's a failure. So, tell us, first of all, what's your greatest failure story, and what did you learn, and how did you recover from it to jump into this bodapreneur business?
See, that's a hard question because there's so many failures I've already gone through that have resulted in greatness. So I will start off with actually the biggest one. So before I started working on Orati, I was at another startup and I thought that startup was going to be my life. I thought I was going to come out with a Range Rover. If my life was set, we're going to get our funding. I was going to live the Silicon Valley dream essentially. But what happened is after 2 years, there were some internal issues, I would say, and that was the biggest lesson ever. Everything that we were working on ended up crumbling like right in front of my face. And with that, I started off as a marketing intern at the company and made my way to CEO. It was a college social media app, and that experience is really what taught me the Swiss Army knife that you have to be when working in a startup. And yeah, and the failure that I realized was because it had to do with the people and the community that we are surrounding yourself with. The internal team failing is what resulted in the overall failure. And so now when I'm running my business right now, I am so conscious of my team and the people I'm surrounding myself with. And going a little deeper, like Aura T is called energy because Aura T is aura, like it's your energy. Why is that important? Because you need to surround yourself with the right energies to succeed in life. And in that past startup, that's the one thing I really realized from that failure, I would say, of that startup not working out.
Now, you say you've risen to the role, the level of CEO, and you've been in charge of managing people. What do you think are the three main reasons people fail?
Yeah, I love this question. So I think the underarching problem of why people fail is because they get too comfortable. I think that's one thing that happens when you're running a startup. You start looking for certainty when it's a world of uncertainty. So, for instance, one reason may be falling in love with your product. That's you getting too comfortable, you starting to just get used to what you're selling without taking data anymore from other people. Another reason is you're getting too comfortable with your business plan. Another thing is you're getting too comfortable with the people around you, that you start depending on the people around you instead of taking tasks into your own hands. So the common arching theme that I've just realized is that you have to embrace uncertainty, and the more you try to just move away from uncertainty, you enter a phase where you don't fail and learn fast. Instead, you you prevent yourself from taking any action because you're moving so slowly, you're so scared to fail that you end up failing. So what I'm realizing is that it's better to, as counterintuitive as it sounds, like the uncertainty is what you have to embrace, and you have to go in a certain direction. You just have to do it. And if you fail, that's going to turn into success, whereas you not doing anything. So I see the word failure, but I see it as also as a predecessor to success, I would say.
Excellent. I think analysis leads to paralysis sometimes when people study, and never take their first step. You got to always take that first step. Tell us what your motivation is.
So I it's crazy because I literally have exterior motivations where I'm a coffee addict. As you know, I'm a boba addict. I drink caffeine every day. That's my external motivations. But internally, what I realized is that motivation is your motivation. I know it sounds weird, but what this means is that you motivation is the act of feeling inspired, and that usually happens as soon as you start working. I know it's a weird process, but the more you actually work, your productivity ends up fueling your motivation. And in my case, what I realized is that if there's certain tasks I'm procrastinating, don't want to do, as soon as I start them, it ends up creating the fuel to want to finish. So that's what I've noticed.
Gotcha. What about the top three success secrets that others can model from you?
Wow, this I feel like I'm giving away my trade secrets. No, I'm kidding. So then these top three success secrets, one thing I would say is build authentic relationships with your community. That's number one, because when it comes to your brand, there's going to be a bunch of competitors that are going to enter your space, but your moat can't always be your product being different. It has to be you creating a loyal community that sticks with your brand. And the more you grow that community, that's what really matters. The second thing I would say, going back to the people, is surround yourself with the right energy. People who are action oriented, not just saying that they will do something. It's really important because if you're the CEO, you're the owner, like you're putting in a top energy. And then the last thing I would say is that this is, as like a woman, I've noticed, but there's a certain balance between being assertive and empathetic as a leader. And I've been going through this tug of war between the two, I would say, where I'm too nice certain times, other times I put my foot way too down and I overcompensated. So the third thing I would say is really understand the situation, who you're talking to, and not change who you are, but adapt yourself. So I would say adapt yourself to your surroundings and to your people.
Perfect. Tell us the motto you have for ROT.
Yeah, the company's motto is fuel your aura. So what that means is your aura essentially is your energy, right? So we designed a drink that fuels your aura. So it's positive energy for your body. So you have the caffeine, it at the same time it creates positive results. So yeah, I guess this is a great segue to the next question.
You
Should I
got it.
answer? Yeah, all
Tell
right. So
tell me how somebody should buy from you. Why should they?
yeah, so we are the healthiest boba tea out there. So as you may or may not know, boba is actually super unhealthy for you. It has twice the amount of sugar as a can of soda, which is insane. And so with that, our alternative is completely sugar free, keto friendly, and vegan. And that's a healthy alternative that you can drink multiple times per day instead of having to have it once in a while. So that's the basic thing. We're healthy and tasty. Our ideal
And
client. Oh yeah, I'm like going off the rail now.
you're fine. What's your ideal client?
Yeah, my so going into why someone should buy us, the ideal client is then someone who is health conscious and prioritizes health in their life, or has stopped drinking boba because they had to due to the health issues. And a lot of people have stopped drinking it after college, I would say.
I have to confess, I'm not aware of Boda tea, so you're going to be training me on the fine points. Thank you so
You
much.
were
How do you
missing out.
find your ideal client?
So the great awesome thing about Aura Tea was that we opened a brick and mortar in San Francisco. And what we did is before that, we did a whole lot of testing on at UC Berkeley's campus. We did a lot of taste testing. From that, we realized who was actually coming to the product, who was ready to pay for this product. I realized that a college student does not want to pay. So that was not my ideal client. Therefore, I decided to open in San Francisco. Over there, we opened right in the tech district across Google, right next to Embarcadero. And I'm like, okay, this is it. And from there, I was able to confirm our target market and figure out where to move from there. Yeah.
So, do you have a well-defined product or service you want to tell us about?
Most definitely. So just breaking it down, we started off with a brick and mortar, as I mentioned. So it started off just as a boba shop. From there, after getting a lot of love from the community, I took the boba product. This is the cup, by the way. I took the boba product, which is this better for you boba tea, and bottled it. So it's a ready to drink product. So essentially, it's a bottle. You open it, it's a milk tea, fruit tea, and it has boba pearls in it. And you're able to enjoy this after a run, whether you're working out, whether you're studying, whatever it is. It's a drink designed to fuel your aura anytime, anywhere. And with their products, they come in a wide range of milk teas, like I mentioned, fruit teas, all with these keto jelly boba pearls, which is an alternative to regular boba tea. And just to give you an idea, Bill, because I know you haven't had boba, but it's essentially a topping that enhances a drink. So you can add it to anything. You can add it to your oat latte, you can add it to your like chai. But it's a fun component to drinking the drink, I would say.
All righty. Tell us about your competition. How do you crush them, and what makes you a better product?
Yeah, I think this alludes back to what I was mentioning before, but what makes us so awesome, what makes us really better is the people who are part of our community. That's really what makes us different than our competitors out there. The Aura community is just different. It's a group of people who are part of this good vibes movement who want to promote positive energy, health conscious decisions, and sustainability while having fun. And that's why the brand is designed in a youthful yet healthy way. And so that's really important because I think a lot of people can have a negative relationship with health. So when you take something healthy and make it fun, that's a different community.
When people walk into your brick and mortar store, how do you deliver a five-star client experience?
So the first question, if you walked into the store, I would ask you is, how can I fuel your aura today? What does that mean? I will create a drink as the bobarista behind the bar that's customized, personalized to your taste buds, to your caffeine needs, to your sweetness level, to whatever you feel in the moment that will fuel your energy. That's what we can create in the moment. And at the end of the day, if you don't like your drink once you try it, we're happy to remake it. There's no way you're not walking out with a 5 star at that point.
I like it. What about converting your clients to brand ambassadors?
I love that. I think it's like a cycle that I'm noticing going both ways, like a chicken egg kind of situation. But the clients automatically have been turning into ambassadors. I have noticed as we create we create this vibe when they enter the store. It's from, like I mentioned, it's a whole process of personalization from the moment you enter, the moment you leave. By the time you leave, you end up coming back a second time into the store. The second time you come into the store, The third time you come in, you're already an ambassador, because at that point you've fallen in love with the product, the vibe, the community, whatever it is. At the moment you enter in, you are an ambassador. That's it. That's all I can say, I would say, at this point.
Now, do you start your day any particular way, perhaps with a boat of tea?
So yeah, today is a little different, but every day starts off with the coffee. Midday it goes with I visit the store and I end up getting a boba. So I'm always on caffeine, I would say. But other than that, I start my day off by preparing what I need to do for the day. So it's a lot of pre-morning planning and coffee, I would say.
Yeah, here's an interesting question. If you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other to go along with it?
I think the same way there's an investor, your significant other is a part of your board of directors in life. So I think you have to treat it the same way. I think a lot of times we end up getting too comfortable, or we take our significant other for granted. You have to have a solid business plan, because if you didn't take the time to create a business plan, how do you even know it's a validated idea? I think you should really spend the time to reflect on the idea and then go from there and present it to them when you're ready.
Okay, what about paid digital media such as Facebook, Google, LinkedIn? Have they played a role in your growth?
So interestingly enough, we have never done digital paid digital media. Did we do unpaid? A whole lot of that. There was a lot of organic effort we've put into Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn, which has been awesome for us. With that, we were really able to test those platforms, and now we're at a point where we're ready with our consumer product to just go forward with ads.
If you're looking at your revenue, what is your recommended amount of percentage expense towards these types of digital media?
Yeah, I would honestly start off by scaling with maybe 15%, for instance, like a small amount that you test, which is exactly what I'm doing. Like where you just put $5 per day on Facebook. Just don't go too crazy. Figure out what content is working, what caption, what hashtags, whatever that is. Then from there, this is what I will follow too. I'm going to follow my own advice. I'm going to increase that percentage of revenue that I put into ads, because at the end of the day, if you're confident in your product, it will speak with through itself when you're posting it through these ads. So I'm going to end up moving from 15% to like 30, 40%.
Tell us about the advice. If you look back when you first started in business, what would you tell that young person today?
I would tell them to relax. I think that's the first thing I would tell myself. Why? Because I realized that this life that I've chosen for myself, when you pick the entrepreneurial path, you are choosing to go on a roller coaster. And the problem is you make the worst decisions on the roller coaster when you are not calm. Whether it's getting too excited or whether it's getting too upset from something that happened. So when you are in a moment where you feel like things are hard or things are really exciting, it's important to find that thing that brings you balance and calms you down. So I think a lot of the decisions that I rushed through in the past, I'm not saying to not be decisive, but I'm saying to just think with a rational, calm brain. So that's what I would tell myself.
Tell us what you would like to be remembered for.
Oh, thank you for asking this question, because I just think I found my purpose like a month ago after going down this path of like, why am I even doing a boba company? I know why I started, but what is the end result? It's not to become a multimillionaire. So, I mean, obviously that sounds nice as an entrepreneur, but what I really care about is bringing the community together. I mentioned this before, but it's all about community, whether it's bringing employees together that end up becoming friends, or it's bringing people together who stopped drinking boba and I'm able to see them coming into the door asking like, hey, do you have a sugar-free alternative? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what we are. It's just awesome being able to bring that happiness and bringing people together. I think that's really what I want to be known for.
Looks like you're living life daily, enjoying every minute. So tell us, how can we support you and what can we do to get your word out?
I think that whoever is watching this podcast, first off, has is in a point in their life where they're ready to do something. And I think that the biggest way that you can support any founder right now is to just be a part of their community. I would say whether it's an active or inactive member, that doesn't matter. But whether it's following the Instagram accounts, our Instagram is, by the way, Orati Coffee. That would be a minor step, or just being able to show up to an event or anything that you can do to just be there as a part of the community. That's all that matters. So if you want to check out our website, you can totally get yourself a boba drink. It's ortcoffee.com, and whoever's on this podcast, you can use VIP 20 for 20% off.
No, that's nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, what would you say about being on our podcast today?
It's right now, it was 8:30 a.m. in PST time, and this is the morning reflection that I needed. I think you asked me what motivated me. I think just talking on this podcast has created the motivation I need for the day. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm going to give you the last word to close out the show. Thank you for being on here so much, and I appreciate you, Kashish, for the sharing that you've given us.
Thank you so much. And I would say, as a final word, I want to tell everyone that's right now in this limbo of deciding, like, should I take the faith of leap to do what I want to do? Just literally just do it. Like, this is not a Nike commercial, but like everything that I believe is just do it. It's better to do something and fail than not to do something, because you're gonna fail anyways. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kashish. This has been Kashish Jr. with RT from San Francisco, California. I'm glad you were here, and I look forward to sharing our podcast with the rest of the world, and maybe tens of thousands of people will be checking in on RT and coffee, making it the start of their day because they found out about the Bodapreneur friend named Kashish Juneja. I'm having a hard time.
Juneja, it's close enough. It's close enough.
I appreciate you being so kind to me, letting me mispronounce your name all day long. So thank you for being on our show. And thank you guys for tuning in to the Influencers Podcast. We'll have more for you on Wednesday. Take care, everyone.
That was fun.